Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. It's me, Alejandro Mendoza, or the Nerdy Chicano. Either way, how you say it, it's all good here. And we're back again for another video as we celebrate Halloween here and spooky season, as it's said on the internet. And I know we have a little bit of days left of Halloween till Halloween, so this is really late. But nonetheless, we're still going to look at some horror films in my collection. And today, we're looking at one of my favorite movies of all time from another one of my favorite directors of all time. And it is the 4K Ultra HD release of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I hope you all are doing well, my friends, and I hope you all are enjoying the videos. I'm very excited to review this film for you all, but of course, if you're new here and you love physical media, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Click the notification bell so you don't miss a single piece of content on the channel, and make sure you're leaving a like as well on this video. All of that helps us out a lot here. And of course, if you want to lend an extra helping hand, please go over to patreon.com/thenerdchicano, pledge to a tier, and get exclusives like video essays, along with early access to videos like the one you're watching right now and other videos that are coming to the channel. But of course, it is not mandatory, but it is appreciated. Either way, you all watching is enough for me, but it is set up for anybody who wants to go ahead and lend an extra helping hand. And thank you all for those who support over there. But of course, I just love you all for watching these videos. And now, let's go ahead and get into this review of Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of the Stephen King novel, The Shining, on 4K Ultra HD. Shoutouts and thank yous go out to Mr. Keith R. Haug for giving me this. He bought multiples and he said, you know, you can take this one. And I went ahead and took it, and I'm thankful for that because I really enjoyed this movie. I have it on Blu Ray. I just never saw the 4K copy, so now having it is awesome. I love this movie, so I'm glad that I'm able to talk with you all about it. But this video is made possible because of Mr. Keith R. Haug. So once again, thank you so much, Haug, and thank you so much for giving me this movie. Okay, so let me go ahead and read some info here on the back. Academy Award winner Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall starring director Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of Stephen King's disturbing blockbuster horror novel. Writer Jack Torrance, played by Nicholson, a former alcoholic, accepts a job as the winter caretaker for a hotel high in the Rocky Mountains, isolating him, his wife, played by Duvall, and their psychic young son until spring. But when the first blizzard blocks the only road out, the hotel's stored energy from evil past deeds begins to drive Jack insane. And there may be no escape for his family in this haunting story of madness, memory, and violence. 4K Ultra HD, so you get a 4K disc, a Blu Ray disc as well, and you have some special features in here. Commentary by Steadicam inventor operator Garrett Brown and historian John Baxter on the 4K and Blu Ray. Writer Kubrick's documentary, The Making of The Shining, with optional commentary, 3 mesmerizing featurettes, View from the Overlook, Crafting The Shining, The Visions of Stanley Kubrick, and Wendy Carlos, composer. And of course, it has Dolby Vision HDR and HDR10 and Dolby Atmos audio. And of course, this is the front, this is the back, this is the spine. And then you open it up and you have the 4K and Blu Ray disc right there. No reversible artwork, but it is a pretty cool release. I wish that they would put more work into this, give us like a little booklet with like goodies and stuff. But nonetheless, I'm just happy I have this movie in my collection because it's a movie that I really love. And now let's go ahead and get into the review. What is there for me to say about this film that hasn't been said before? I've done an episode of this film for the Cinema Condition. We just recently discussed this film on the Nerdcore podcast, and I've discussed this film at great lengths with everybody, whether it's friends, family, or professors of mine. I love this movie from Stanley Kubrick. I think that it's one of his best films, and I believe this is the greatest horror film of all time. It is truly frightening the extent that Jack Torrance is able to go to. and the way that he treats his family and the way that he treats his wife and son, and it is horrifying that it's done by a man who is supposed to be taking care of them. And while he's taking care of the hotel, he seems to care more about that than the actual family. It's a film that's filled with incredible cinematography, with beautiful Steadicam, and along with some great music and great performances from Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, and especially our young boy in this film. I can't remember his character's name, but Danny Torrance. I think he's incredible too in this film, the guy who plays him, and it all makes for this really, really tense, scary movie that, always finds a way to reinvigorate my love for horror every time I watch it. It's a movie that I can never get tired of. I love watching this film, and I think that it's one of those movies that are a necessity to watch during spooky season and Halloween, as we look at the true horrors that are found in humanity and not really the supernatural. And I think that just the way that it works with the performances, its use of the Steadicam really does heighten this atmosphere for this fear to kind of grow. And it's one of the reasons why this film just never gets old. It's because it's the first one to really start to work with that Steadicam, and it really just finds a way to invent this style that people are going to take hold of for years to come. Nonetheless, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, for one of my favorite directors of all time. I can't say this is my favorite from Stanley Kubrick, but it is one of his many masterpieces, and is a film that I can never get tired of rewatching. Now let's talk about this restoration. And I'll go ahead and say this before, I've owned this film already. I have this 3-pack of Kubrick's films that I got from Best Buy a long time ago, and I've seen this movie before. I've got to say that on this pack right here, I really like the way that The Shining looks. It is a massive improvement from the DVD, yet I always notice that it could be better. And I always thought that, hey, maybe they'll end up doing something with 4K down the line when 4K started to become a thing. And I actually remember when this restoration was playing at theaters. I had the chance to go watch it, and I even bought a ticket, but I wasn't able to go, and I ended up losing out on that money, right, that opportunity. But today I'm finally getting to talk to you all about this restoration, because I was finally able to watch it. And I have to say, this has got to be one of the greatest transfers in 4K history. I know I say this a lot, but believe me, this is right up there with 2001: A Space Odyssey. This looks marvelous. It almost, in a way, looks digital at times, yet it keeps those elements of film stock, like the grain, that really makes it feel like a film from 1980. And what I love the most is the deep context and the deep contrast and the heightening of those colors. The reds in this film are very deep, and it almost feels not as bright as they looked on this Blu Ray. But I have to say, I really, really like the way that this film looks. The contrast, the black and white levels, the color and the regrading really brings out this heightened look out of it from the resolution, and it's able to heighten those details, make it look really good. And I some of the major examples I can bring up for you all are, anytime that Danny is up on screen with those colors on his shirt and his outfits, they really, magnified by this new grading and by this new approach to this transfer. I love the maze chase scenes at the end. I think those worked really well, and they brought out a really good color out of the film. At times, it can be a little bit too dark. I think that's because of the HDR, like the scenes where the old not the old caretaker, but the other guy with the shining powers as well is answering the phone, and you have the blue silhouettes coming in. I think that those are scenes where the blacks are just a little bit too dark. And there's other scenes as well when he goes into the basement, he sees all those bodies and the skeletons, and those scenes are just a little too dark. But that's the HDR. But but nonetheless, I think that it looks incredible. The audio is really good as well. Of course, like I said, I don't have a stereo system, And I think I'm just gonna stop saying this, you all. Honestly, I'm gonna just let you all know when I finally get a stereo system. But I watched this from my speakers on my TV, and I still was really in love with this audio. On this, it really sounds like it was hard to kind of clean up everything. But on this film, on this copy, everything sounds clean. It sounds very crisp. No popping, no hissing, nothing that makes it feel like it hasn't been treated with the respect that it deserves. And I love when these films in 4Ks can have a great video and audio track, because it means that they put the care on both of those elements, and because of that we get this great restoration like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining on 4K Ultra HD. I'm not entirely sure how much it is now, but I know that it's always on sale during Black Friday, so make sure you all check that out and pick that up during Black Friday. But of course, I highly recommend it. It's got some good special features that are here from that are ported from this release from the Blu Ray. But nonetheless, great transfer, great movie, and also good amount of special features. So pick that up whenever you all get the chance. Keep up to date with me on all things social media by following me at The Nerdy Chicano on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Letterboxd Serialized, and on TikTok. I do a bunch of cool stuff on there, so let's go ahead and talk and make sure that we connect with each other so we can stay in contact and interact with each other. Keep up to date with The Nerdcore by following them at thenerdcore.com. That's our website, The Nerdcore, on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube as well. Check all that wonderful stuff out, because we're doing a bunch of really cool stuff and we're just making some good podcasts. So please, y'all, go and show us some support. I'll see you all next week as we look at another film in my collection. But for now, let me know in the comments what you're watching to celebrate Halloween. What's your favorite horror film of all time? And what do you think about this 4K release of The Shining from Stanley Kubrick? But without further ado, to my wonderful cinephiles and renowned scholars, celebrate the love of cinema today, tomorrow, and every day after. Catch you all on the next one, guys. Bye-bye.